Hello, and welcome back to a Pup in the Life. Welcome to our very own countryside, our favorite place to be, to just go out and, clear our thoughts, clear our mind. Mommy's feeling a bit sick, so yeah, we're trying our best to just survive. It is what it is, ain't it right? So in today's podcast, Vergola! We are living through a period of vacation, basically, in Italy, where lots of people are just, off because Easter and Liberation Day and Labor Day are basically all tied up together. And so this is a big bunch of a 2-week vacation for most people, but of course not for entrepreneurs. And so we are just trying to rest a tiny bit and try our best to make sense of these days where we can unplug a little bit, as you've seen in the other podcasts where we shared some of the not just tips, but a more in-depth type of analysis rather than the ones that we're usually doing very fast, very very energetic in this podcast. So it's just a tiny bit more compassed. So we want to credit James Sinclair in his newsletter Startup to Scale Up. Pretty good one that Mums follows. Not very known, but I don't even know how she got there, to be honest, but one of the few that Mums follows and actually reads. That is not newspapers and news. And it's called Startup to Scale Up, and the title of the newsletter is Startup Founders Never Arrive. And so she got in this morning, saw the newsletter, saw the email, and just was very drawn into it and just starting to scroll it a little bit, and then realized just before deleting it, that there was something to it that we can talk about. And so James Sinclair talks about the Zeno paradox, Zeno dichotomy paradox. So Zeno argued, in order to reach your destination, you must first get halfway there, then halfway again, and so on. You're always closing the gap, never fully arriving. Now there is a way to talk about this, and it's called the Zeno tortoise paradox, where you would find that Achilles and a tortoise are competing to get to the same place. And if the tortoise, just the turtle, okay, I don't know what's the right word in English, it's probably turtle, starts before, so let's say the turtle has like a 10 seconds, a 5 second, even a 1 second or split second of advantage because she departed early, she got off the starting line first. Achilles is never gonna reach her because on an infinite scale, he's never gonna get to the tortoise, to the turtle, because basically that's exactly what the paradox says, is he can go faster, but he's never gonna get onto the advantage of the turtle. Now this is something quite similar to what James Sinclair is talking about in this newsletter, probably explaining it a bit more than what Zeno actually said. And so just to give you a bit of context, this type of paradox, is like the dichotomy argument, which is actually the same. It's just without the explanation of it. And the paradox says, and is recounted by Aristotle in the Physics. It says that which is in locomotion must arrive at the halfway stage before it arrives at the goal. And so if you start dividing if you start dividing that in a race, the pieces of the journey in halfway, you're going to realize that even the quickest runner can never overtake the slowest, since the pursuer must first reach the point whence the pursued started, so that the slower must always hold a lead. This is explained in the paradox of Achilles and the tortoise, where Achilles is in a foot race with a tortoise. Achilles allows the tortoise a head start of 100 meters, for example, and suppose that each racer starts running at some constant speed, one faster than the other. At some finite time, Achilles will have run the 100 meter, bringing him to the tortoise starting point. During the time, the tortoise had run much shorter distance, say 2 meters. It will then take Achilles some further time to run that distance, by which time the tortoise will have advanced farther, and the more time still to reach this third point, while the tortoise moves ahead. Thus, whenever Achilles arrives somewhere the tortoise has been, he still has some distance to go before he can even reach the tortoise. And so this is very similar argument to the dichotomy. Now, why have we talked about all of this? Because this paradox really explains a lot of startup thinking when it comes to never thinking about arriving, or never actually living in the illusion of arriving. This is how Sinclair puts it. You're always getting closer, but it never feels like enough. Welcome to startups. To founders, it's a description of startup life. You're always moving, you're always improving, you're always almost there, but you never actually land, because the minute you do, a new gap opens in front of you. Ask any founder who has done it before. There's a particular kind of exhaustion that sets in, particularly around year 3. It's not the adrenaline wearing off, it's deeper, more existential. It's just staring at the ceiling, asking yourself, will it always feel like this kind of feeling? And to be honest, this is true. Like, this is exactly how it is. If you want to get a bit more technical, he says, this isn't failure, this is Zeno revenge. Idea, then MVP, then product market fit, then growth, then scale, then exit. But it's not what it feels like. What it feels like is idea, rejection, slight traction, confusion, spike, churn, pivot, repeat. Halfway to fundraising, halfway to clarity, halfway to feeling like you're finally there. Again, that's no failure, that's Zeno. What makes it work is the toll compounds. Halfway in year 1 has a different way of feeling after halfway in year 5. The psychological burden gets heavier, not lighter. The cost to your health, your relationship, your sense of self accumulates. There is no end. There's just another level of clarity. You have to stop waiting for that moment, because it doesn't exist. Oh, whew. That's hard, huh? That's so fucking hard. But this newsletter arrives just a couple of days where we, after, actually one day after in the podcast, but a couple of days after, we created this concept in Mom's head of the levels. And it's like unlocking new levels. But at the same time, what we were missing in that piece of the pod, in that specific part of the podcast and of the reasoning, is probably this. Zeno's paradox is that you will never fully arrive. And this is probably the hardest thing about entrepreneurship. It's the hardest thing of it all, because it's philosophical. There is no way for you to feel arrived, because exactly at the point in which you say, okay, like, I'm done. You're not done, because there's a bigger problem to be solved. This is the only truth about entrepreneurship. You're only compounding problems and then further solutions. You're not compounding achievements, you know? And so it's probably taking into consideration to maybe consider the problems you're facing, Vergola, the problems you're getting to know, the first time problem as the first achievement in that specific we're sorry, the mic has died. So we're recording from the phone. It's gonna be fast. As Alex Morsi says, your objective as an entrepreneur is figuring it out, keep figuring it out and not running out of money. This is hard. This is so fucking hard. But that is the only truth to it. That actually means that when you start understanding that you're not Achilles, you are the tortoise, you're gonna keep going and going and going at a steady pace, and you're gonna get further along than somebody who just sprints and then says, you know what, fuck this, I'm never gonna get to the tortoise, because no, they will never gonna get there in any shape or form. So be the turtle. Vergola! Su! I'm just scrambling my body on shit again. Su! Be the turtle. Ciao! Please be the turtle. Okay, nevertheless, objective of entrepreneurship is connecting achievement to problem and not achievement to solution. Figuring it out, keep figuring it out. This is the feature, not a bug of entrepreneurship. This is the feature. Probably the only thing that's going to tell you this is entrepreneurship. All the rest is just pure Vergola! Pure make pretend. Hopefully you're gonna get some nuggets out of this. We certainly did. And we'll send to this James Sinclair person. We love your newsletter, and we're gonna send you this pod. And so if it feels like this, just so you know, you're on the right track. Now, bye from our dead microphone. This was supposed to be a very juicy episode. It was due to something that happened. But hey, this is entrepreneurship. Get yourself educated that shit happens. And your only objective is to react to it and unlock more and more and more levels. Be a turtle. Sending you kisses, hugs, and a bit of barks.